Your testimony before us, you said that, quote, the individual market was in a state of crisis because of the ACA. But in reality, it is you and the Trump administration who have done everything you can to sabotage the ACA and reverse the law's historic gains in health coverage. So let's go over some of the record of the past 3 years, your record. On his, and the president's. On his first day in office, the president signed an executive order directing federal agencies to undermine the ACA, quote, to the maximum extent permitted by law, unquote. Days later, CMS pulled the funding for outreach and advertising from the for the final days of 2017. Enrollment and an action estimated to have reduced enrollment by 500,000 people. You cut the number of days people could sign up for coverage by half. You spent funds meant for promoting the enrollment on a public relations campaign to undermine the law. HHS changed its website, healthcare.gov, making it more difficult for consumers to obtain appropriate health coverage. For 2018 open enrollment, you cut the outreach advertising budget by 90%, which resulted in as many as 1 million fewer people gaining access to coverage. You ordered the regional directors to stop participating in open enrollment events. In 18 cities, including my hometown of Chicago, you terminated contracts for in-person assistants who guide applicants through the ACA enrollment process and help them, and was designed to help them sign up for insurance, and those are now gone. You slashed funding for nonprofit navigator groups that help people shop for better coverage, and you stopped making cost-sharing reduction payments to insurers. Even though CBO warned that failure to make these payments would increase premiums by 20% and add nearly $200 billion to the national debt. And time again, this administration, including you and President Trump himself, have used inflammatory rhetoric to spread falsehoods and misinformation about the ACA. And though you have slashed funding for ACA enrollment outreach, you have certainly pushed taxpayer funds elsewhere. According to a press report, you personally approved the awarding of millions of dollars of federal contracts to Republican communications consultants who write your speeches, polish your brand, and travel with you across the country. This calls into question your stewardship of critical CMA resources that could be put to good use to give people coverage. Administrator Verma, it's simply your tenure that has focused on undermining the ACA. We received a report yesterday that premiums will go down by 4% in 2020. But imagine how much more money Americans could have saved if you were uplifting the ACA and helping them to get coverage. President Trump has said that his only plan to, quote, is to, quote, let Obamacare fail. But you have gone further than that. You are actually sabotaging the law. You have led the effort, Administrator Verma. And you say, we have heard for 10 years now, since the passage of the ACA, that Republicans wanted to repeal and replace the law. Now you're telling us, if there's a court decision very soon that overturns the Affordable Care Act, that you have a plan. Where is the plan? Do you have a plan that you can present to us? Or is this another pie-in-the-sky promise
Ladies, time's
that we've heard for many years?
Chair now